on? Welcome back to another episode of Studio 7, Week 2 for us. I am Matt Bove.
I'm Mercedes Wilson.
And I'm Autumn Lewandowski.
And while we were getting ready to start today's episode, Mercedes had a little bit of a hot take, and she said, I am ready for the best month of the year to start. And
October.
Then we started talking about our favorite months.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of other stuff I think we wanted to get to, but we're going to start there. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that October is the best month of the year.
Yes, October has the best weather. Hoodie season is the best season for me. Like you can do layers, you can do hoodie.
Mhm.
I
when
like
the
hoodie
leaves
season.
change. It is the best season.
I like hoodie season. I also still like some. I like the transition. I like that we have transitions.
Yeah, I think
So-
that if
we
you,
know?
I do.
Do we have transitions?
I feel like if there was a true, I love fall. It's my favorite time of year,
Mhm,
and it'll always
Beautiful.
be. It'll always be that way. The argument I hear against it is that we very rarely get a true fall. It
That
goes
is true.
from summer to all of a sudden we're talking about snow, which I kind of understand, but I also love those little days of the little pockets of like 55 degrees and sunny.
Yep.
Give me that every single day of the week.
I'd have to say it feels like we have more fall than we do spring. I feel like it's winter and then it's not winter but not spring, and then all of a sudden we're kind of in summer.
Spring kind of stinks. Like, let's call a spade a spade.
I say
here.
we have
Spring
no
kinda
spring.
Stinks. We don't have a
We
spring.
go from winter to summer.
Yeah.
Winter just
In a
takes
way.
over spring.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically, I mean, it's relative, but the weather is not great from, let's say, like, I mean, you're the meteorologist, but this is my opinion.
This is feeling. We're going
December
on feeling.
December to May,
Mm-hmm,
it kind of just stinks.
Yeah,
You get those rare days in the middle where it's starting to feel like you're coming out of it.
Yeah.
And then it comes crashing down with another storm a couple days later. And then you start all over again. But yeah, to me, it's like, give me summer, give me fall. And then the other ones we just kind of got to deal with.
Now, see, Michael Schwartz says spring is easily the worst of the seasons, period.
I agree
In
with
all
that.
caps.
I agree. I think I'd go fall, summer, winter, gap, spring.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Natalia was born in the spring because it kind of gives me the one
Something.
thing to look forward to
Yeah.
there. But it's, I mean, everything goes from dead and mushy and then it starts getting warm, but then the ground still hasn't caught up. So everything's just muddy and there's
Mhm.
nothing like sprouting just yet. And then all of a sudden it's here.
On the count of three, let's all say the worst month because I think we all have to be on the
Ooh.
same page.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
January.
Whoa. You say January?
Yeah.
You say January?
February.
February.
Yeah.
So much worse than January.
Yeah.
January, you're still like kind of riding the little high of the holidays.
There
and
is no high.
and
Not with that weather.
not with that weather, but I also like, we'll talk about the Bills. Sorry, everyone. But usually now the Bills are also still playing most of January. So I think that also gives me a bit of a distraction. And then when they eventually get eliminated, then everything comes crashing down and you're like, oh no, it's January 25th. It's 12 degrees
Yeah,
and there's
yeah, yeah.
14 inches of snow on the ground.
Winter's
Yeah.
getting a bad rap though. There's so many fun things to do in the wintertime.
Yes.
When we have the right, of course, weather again. I mean, people that were trying to do snowmobiling and whatnot last winter, you had a good storm, you had 2 days of snowmobiling, and then the warmth came and knocked it out. So that's when winter is kind of miserable, when you can't get in those fun activities that you do outside.
Yeah,
Winter is the best when you're sitting in the house with hot cocoa.
I agree.
When you said there's so many activities, I'm like, you can sit in the house. And,
Skiing, snowmobiling. I don't like snowshoeing.
Day.
That's not a fun thing.
I've covered, Peter says, February is the greatest holiday, Groundhog Day. And my parents welcomed the firstborn on Groundhog Day a couple years ago. Actually, it was more than a couple years ago, probably about a decade ago. I was a morning show reporter here and I went down to Punxsutawney for Groundhog Day. Do you remember that? Were you on
I
the morning
do.
show?
Yes.
Oh, I like leaned into it. I had a top hat. I wore like a trench coat. It is a ridiculous.
It's wild, isn't it?
It is a full-on party at 4 a.m. in the middle
Oh
of
my
a
gosh.
field in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. It is.
I gotta go one of these years.
It's really cool. It's basically like a tailgate of a football game, but in the middle of the night. And because it's freezing outside, they have a bonfire that is probably like 30 yards in width of just everybody go stand by that massive field on fire.
Perfect.
And that's how you're going to stay warm.
y'all have fun with that.
Yeah.
You'll
Y'all
be
have fun.
inside with your hot cocoa.
Yes,
You'll
I
be
will
inside
be
with the hot
inside with
cocoa.
the hot cocoa. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you promised we talk about the Bills.
We can talk about the Buffalo Bills. We can. Everybody, it's going to be.
And it's just quiet.
Everybody,
it
it's
just
gonna,
goes quiet.
It's going to be fine. I'm telling you, people, this is what we do in football. I am guilty of it. Fans are guilty of it. I totally understand. People overreact to a week ago they get a win, and they're the best team in football.
Yeah.
And then yesterday they lose, and now all of a sudden they're the worst team in football. They were probably never as good as you thought a week ago, and they're not as bad as you think they are right now.
Oh, I like how you put that.
It's one game. They play 17. They are 3-1. The team that destroyed them yesterday has a worse record than the Bills.
That is true.
And would trade places with them because of that. So it's just like, everybody take a deep breath. I know it's hard sometimes. They have another really tough 2 games coming up. Win one of them. If you win one of them, you're in a really, really good spot. I mean, Connie says they looked bad. They did, Connie. I'm not denying that. But they are so banged up with injuries. And after a while, it's just bound to come back and bite you in the butt. That's Lori says it was just a game, and our first loss, it'll be okay. Did you know that yesterday was the worst loss the Bills have had in 43 games, going back to 2021? Oof. That is how long it has been since they lost a game by more than 6 points. So they just did it in really bad fashion by losing by 25 instead of 7.
Yeah. So you say all that to say, just relax.
Just relax.
I think they do better as kind of underdog, people kind of saying negative things about them, or like our town in general. I think we're just used to that, like the kind of the grunge of it, rather than we're the best. We know how to win.
It's a nice.
We actually know how to lose.
It's a nice reality check. You get punched in the mouth, and it's about how do you respond. I think this is a nice little slice of humble pie for them. It's okay, guys, you aren't maybe as good as you thought you were. Now it's time to figure it out and show who you are.
Yes, and we'll be right back. For all of our folks watching us at home, we'll be right back. For all of you watching online, stay with us. All right. So what was the last thing you just said? Humble pie?
Humble pie. Punch in the face.
Yeah.
They got punched in the face. Sometimes it happens. I mean, yesterday it was an ugly game. It was an ugly game, but I don't really think that one game is anything to be overly concerned about. They just played like crap.
No, my dad this morning was like, it's better that we lost it early. It's just better that we lost it early. Like, we're good. So,
and I'll tell you this is just completely my perception, but after the game, you talk to these players.
Yeah.
In every game, you talk to Josh Allen, and he comes out yesterday, and we have seen this dude dejected after games, like he's gone through a war. And he came out yesterday, and he was just kind of like, I'm glad it happened now. We got time to figure this out, and we will figure it out. And it was just a very different vibe. It felt like they realized that they did not play up to their potential, and they know that they can correct it. So I don't think that the team is panicking either. What does this say?
Connie says, crossing fingers for this week's game. Hope the commentators leave Diggs alone.
Stephon Diggs game coming up.
Oh, so it's
at
when is
Houston
it?
on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
Like a regular
Sunday 1:00 game. So the Bills have 3 road games in a row. Oof. Which is crazy. My wife is not thrilled.
Yeah.
So at Baltimore this weekend, at Houston next weekend, and then the following weekend, it's in New York on the road. That game's on Channel 7. So it'll be a very, very hectic 2 weeks.
And those are all Sundays, regular Sundays?
No, Sunday 1:00 against Houston, and then a Monday night football game against the Jets on the road.
And that's when we're hosted, like Channel 7.
Channel 7's got it. Yeah.
Got
it. So that'll be a big night for us.
So Connie's asking if we went and got apples this weekend. Remember on Friday we talked about getting apples?
I didn't get apples. We went to the pumpkin farm.
You did?
We got apple cider.
That's always cute.
In little pumpkin sippy cups for the kids.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Who came? Did you like your nieces and nephews come?
Yeah, all my nieces, a couple nieces and nephew. Well, my cousin's kids were all there too. So they all had a great time.
Yeah. Well, we did not get apples either, but we did get pumpkins from Home Depot.
That counts.
We got pumpkins we went and we picked them at the pumpkin farm.
We went to Home Depot to drop my son off.
You should have gotten them from Aldi's. They're cheapest at Aldi's.
Oh, yeah.
And they're huge.
Nothing says fall like picking up a nice pumpkin from Home
out of
Depot.
A crate.
Out of a crate.
Listen, I'm like, girls, time is tight this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's go get they were all right there.
So did you pick those yourself? No, but they were in a wooden crate in the
sure
parking
were.
lot at Home Depot.
Someone did.
Somebody did.
They loved them all the same.
My wife got we had a meat raffle on Friday night, and she went and bought apple cider donuts from someplace in Pendleton, which is by where she works. She works at Star Point, and they were serious.
Ooh.
They were really
coming
good.
up. We are going to be back on air. See you.
Welcome back to Studio 7. We're having a great conversation. If you are not joining us online, you really should consider it, right? Because we have some good conversations during the break.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to go back and forth with everyone.
A little
Yeah.
more unhinged during the commercial.
Oh, yeah.
A little more unhinged.
Just a little,
Just
just
a
a
bit.
little. Yeah, so we have some fun things that I think is fun. What do y'all think? Like your favorite childhood memory
Mhm.
from the 90s or early 2000s?
Favorite childhood memory is a weird one for me
Is
because
it?
I feel like I can't point back at one thing. I have times that I remember really fondly and memories that are great,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I could go back to like a singular moment where I would say, "Ooh, that was really, really amazing."
Mhm. Mhm.
Maybe that
Yeah,
means it
I
wasn't that
can't
good.
either.
I don't know.
No, we would go down south every year, and that was always like a
Mhm.
highlight of my summer or childhood.
Yeah.
Like doing that with all of our cousins and going there every year. So I really love traveling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what inspired going somewhere all the time.
Yeah.
But
You travel a lot.
I think it's good to get away at least once a year.
Sure.
Mhm.
Like, I think you just need not so much something that you look forward to, but I mean, I guess you're looking forward to it the entire time.
Yeah.
But there's just like people remember memories.
Mhm.
I can
Yeah.
give things to people, and then it's just not the same as
Yeah.
creating something with them.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you? Do you have something that like specifically
You
stands
know
out?
what? As a kid, I remember my dad had a love for cars.
Uh-huh.
My whole family.
Yeah.
And so he would go park his car at the park and clean it for hours. And my sister and I would just spend hours at the park. Like that was just my favorite thing to
That
do. He
was a
would clean
good
his
thing
car.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And he would, I think it was to make us tired,
Well, yeah, you got to do
just
that
wear
too.
us out.
That's a
So
good
we would go
idea.
to bed.
It's brilliant.
Because you could do that in your driveway. but
Yeah,
how
no, he would take
much
us to the
better?
park.
Yeah.
All
Good
his
idea.
cleaning supplies out, and he would do that for hours.
What kind of car?
Oh, he had like several. There was the Cadillacs and my
Yeah.
dad was like the car guy.
He was a
and
car guy?
Yeah, I'm surprised he let us get in it. Like, to be honest, I'm surprised.
Can't have a drink. You better not have
I
a
know.
snack. Take
Oh,
your
we were
shoes
not allowed
off.
to. No, it is not what my kids are allowed to do. Like they're allowed to eat and drink. We weren't allowed to do any of that.
I mean, I drive an automatic smaller SUV, but when my dad passed, I got his old Mustang. It's a 1968 Mustang,
Mhm.
but I've never driven it because I don't know how to drive a 3-speed, and that's what it is. So I have to learn that. And then also like the car needs a little bit of work, but it's in immaculate shape. And he used to do stuff like that. He would take
Yeah,
his car
I'm telling you.
shows and he would just go and like park by the river and go to the park. And I wanted to park with my mom
Yeah.
and do all that stuff. So yeah, those are, I mean, the people, that's really cool stuff.
Yeah. Did you have any shows that you used to rush home after school to watch?
I never cared to. I was talking with my husband about this earlier, and I was like, I don't think I came home to watch TV.
What?
Like I was ready to like go outside and play.
Oh, okay.
Like I wanted to go. Now, what I do remember and what we always look forward to was TGIF. Like Friday night watching all the TGIF shows. That's what I
Mhm,
No
mhm.
Loved
idea what- I have no
watching.
idea what that is.
that
TJ.
was like Family Matters and Full House,
Full House.
and
None of that.
I know what those are, but I didn't
Who's
know
the
that
Boss.
Urkel?
Like,
You don't
oh,
know
yeah,
Steve Urkel?
I know who these people are because they are popular like pop culture references and characters. I have
Oh.
never once
Did you
seen
just?
those
Didn't
shows.
enjoy the
He
TGIF.
just said it out loud.
The
What
only,
about MTV?
I see. I missed that wave too. I missed that wave.
My parents wouldn't really let us watch MTV.
Oh man, I used to love the videos.
Yeah, I
I
couldn't.
used to love watching.
I rushed home every single day to watch 7 Eyewitness News.
Did you really?
My
Oh.
When I was little, my dad would make me turn the channel on the TV to get to 7 Eyewitness
Yeah.
Oh my
News. So
gosh.
that's a true story.
my big shows growing up were like very much Nickelodeon, a little bit of Disney Channel when you're growing up. Time to Culture, man. I'm not that, you know, if it wasn't in my time. Like my favorite thing was, remember the show Keenan and Kel?
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved.
Was that
Keenan
all
and
that,
Kel.
or they were a part of all
but
that?
they were part of all
And then they
that.
went
But
off
then
on
they
their
had
own.
their own show.
Good
Keenan and
Burger,
Kel
they
had the
after
movie.
Good Burger. Yeah, Welcome to Good Burger. Home to
Okay,
the
you
Good Burger.
redeemed yourself a
So
little bit.
I loved Keenan and Kel. I loved SpongeBob. I loved SpongeBob. I still quote.
He's from a different era.
Yeah, I quote SpongeBob. Alyssa's over there fist bumping. I quote SpongeBob
Wow.
They are both from a different
at
era.
least once a day, and I'm not exaggerating.
Okay, well
Oh
then
my
the question is,
gosh.
what kind of snacks did you eat when you watched SpongeBob? What was your go-to snack in that era?
It's not something that's like great, but do you remember they still have it? It's still popular. The white cheddar smart food popcorn. You remember that? Oh, I would just like sit there and like have like a bowl of popcorn and watch Nickelodeon. And that was just the best. Or cereal. I love cereal. Just a big bowl of cereal.
I'm learning so much about you.
Yeah, I mean, so what was yours? Since you're like the foodie,
do you know who was what was the best snack?
She made lobster tails.
Yeah,
Family Matters.
No, I didn't. But you know what? I love it was a drive-through. You know who had the best snacks? McDonald's. The 50-cent apple pies. Do you remember those?
I do remember those.
They're not 50 cents anymore.
I do remember that.
But as a kid, I would stack up on those. And they used to give them to you warm. I felt like it was fabulous. 50 cents. And I used to go watch MTV, eating my McDonald's 50-cent apple pie.
I went to high school at Niagara
Apple pies.
I went to high school at Niagara Wheatfield, and across the street is the gas station, Smokin' Joe's, and they have a grocery store there, and they used to have those apple pies in the boxes, not quite the McDonald's ones because they weren't warm, but kind of the same concept.
They
and
still
it was
have them.
$3 for $1.
You're getting it today,
man.
man.
I'm not that young though. I was when I started here. I started here when I was 20 years old. Now 31, so I'm a little bit older. Gushers, dude, Gushers and fruit roll-ups.
Yes,
slap.
I'm a candy fanatic.
Yeah,
Gushers,
so good.
fruit roll-ups, fruit by the foot.
Oh my gosh,
Sour
I love them
Patch
all.
Kids,
Sour Patches are the best
Nerds
too.
Ropes.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk games then. Gaming systems.
Oh, for me, PlayStation 2 and GameCube. I mean, I was there for like PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, all that stuff, but I have
so we're not even going to talk about the Sega Genesis.
Excessive amount of time on those two.
I guess we'll go to break on the Sega Genesis then. All of our friends at home will be right back. For all of us online, stay with us.
All right, y'all.
You're out.
I'm out. Time to go be on the news.
Thanks for joining
everybody's
us.
favorite after-school program, 7 News at 5.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Get some rest.
All right, he's leaving us here. So, Melly Lynn says we always did homemade popcorn during TGIF. So she's
yeah. My younger sister loved popcorn. I'm okay with popcorn. It's not my go-to.
It's not my go-to. Not when there's so many other sweets.
Salt and vinegar chips would be mine.
Yes.
And I see these memes talking about why they're still around and who keeps these people employed to give us salt and vinegar chips. I'm like, it's me. My daughter, we've got that vinegar gene in our blood. I love salt and vinegar. The tanginess is just awesome.
Are there any snacks that they've done away with that you wish they still made? Or maybe just made more of, like that we really don't see, like Chico sticks. Did you ever do Chico sticks?
No.
Caramellos. I still see them every once in a while, but I love a caramello.
Yeah, caramello. I really liked.
Yeah. What about
Those
you guys? Delicious. Ooh, we have some folks talking about playing their games. Yes, for hours. I actually play it on my Xbox. So we have some folks that play with Xbox.
I would say the most popular one that we had was the Super Nintendo. That was like our favorite gaming console.
Yeah. So Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would sit there and try to beat that thing
for hours.
Although, I think my dad actually bought it for himself because he'd sit there and play on the Super Nintendo. And it's like, okay, Dad's done. We can play.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So something really cool that my dad did when we were kids. There was a game called Zelda. You remember that game?
I know the name. I never played it.
A special opportunity came up at his job where he was able to get the characters' names changed to mine and my sister's name.
How fun.
I wish I would have just kept it as a kid. I wish my parents would have kept it, but it was so cool playing a game with our names in it.
Yeah.
So
that's super special.
And Sonic the Hedgehog. Hedgehog was the game to play.
Yep.
So I used to love gaming.
It was a good time.
Love gaming. I'm with you, Melly. She loved Zelda.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever played it.
Yeah. And that Dragon Boy in Super Mario Brothers, he was hard to beat. He was hard to beat.
Each castle was always difficult one to get through, but
I still hear the music in my head from those from those levels. You guys are the best in these comments. I just have to tell you.
Bowser. Yeah.
Yes.
Bowser was something.
Welcome back to Studio 7. As you can see, we've lost our lovely co-host Bove. He's getting ready for the 5 o'clock news. But before break, we were talking about some gaming systems, and Bove was talking about PlayStation. But you and I go back to
Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Was that, or Sega? I think we played some Sega.
I was a Sega Genesis.
Yep. Yeah, Sonic.
Yes,
he was
Sonic
fun.
the Hedgehog was just the game. But Super Nintendo was Zelda,
and of course Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, and I was telling the folks online that there was one year that my dad, they did something special at his job where he was able to actually get the characters' names switched to mine and my sister's names, and we just felt like we were superstars. So
cool. That's such an awesome memory.
Yeah. And then, okay, so let's go back a little more. Do you remember your first like email address? No. I remember being in high school, how we used to make the really cool email address names. No?
I do remember that. I don't remember what mine was.
We made them on dial-up.
Oh, okay. I remember the sound of dial-up, and you're waiting and waiting.
I will never forget that. I will never. Melly Mel says, "Oh my God, email addresses." I'm telling you, you thought you were cool if you got those, or when we got those in high school. I thought I was the coolest thing to have my own email address.
Yeah,
I really, really did.
Dial-up.
And then I was reminiscing earlier, thinking, what are some of the toys that you saved up for? Do you remember any of the toys that you saved up for as a kid that were a big deal?
I think my Sega, like the handheld one, whatever that one was called, I saved up to buy that gaming console for myself. And I loved it. And I got really good at playing Sonic.
Well, you know what? Growing up, chores were real. So we got to save up. I mean, I don't really give my kids that many chores so they can save up their money, but I saved up for food. Surprise, surprise.
Oh,
I used to run to the local grocery store and get like shrimp and make shrimp scampi. I was a weird kid.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, I used to go and make shrimp scampi for everybody, all of us kids with our chore money.
Oh my gosh.
And do you remember the Cabbage Patch Kids?
Yes.
I used to save up for the Cabbage Patch Kids and the Magic Bake Oven.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
I never got one.
Oh,
I never got one.
That's surprise. Well, I mean, you could just use your real oven. You're so good at making food.
But it was such a big
whatever
deal.
You made would be way better than whatever chemicals came out of that magic oven.
That is so true. That is so true. But it was such a big deal. And those Cabbage Patch Kids. Do you remember Elf?
Yes. Yeah, I remember Elf.
Oh my God. Were there any other like toys or anything that you had that you remember that you were like, that was my jam?
No. I need to get hypnotized and take me back so I can remember. I'm sure my mom would say, "No, don't you remember this or that?" But nothing that I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. Elf. Yep.
Yeah.
Nellie says Elf. And Connie said, I never had money to spend until I babysat.
Yeah.
I think we all, I used to babysit a lot.
Yeah. And I think we may have been even younger than what kids now babysit as, like the
we were allowed to do a lot of things at
I feel like I was babysitting at like 12, and I don't know, no offense to any 12-year-olds out there right now, but I don't know if I'd have a 12-year-old watch Natalia while I went out to like dinner or something like that.
Absolutely not. No. I mean, we were allowed to do a lot of things that, I mean, we used to be able to go to the grocery store with a note and get things from my grandparents.
We would do the same.
We're talking the day of penny candy too.
Yeah. Oh,
Did you have penny candy?
Oh, I've got the biggest sweet tooth, and more the sweet tooth of candy than I do of actual sweets. When you were going to the store for shrimp, I went down to the corner store and I would buy salt and vinegar chips. I'd buy Pepsi. And then I would buy like any type of penny candy I could have. And she would have all the different like colors of the rainbow for they're like Tootsie Rolls. I think they're called Fruities or something like that. So I'd buy all those Airheads.
Yep.
Caramellos, Slim Jims. Yes. That's not sweet, but I would still I still would like a Slim Jim.
Yeah, but that's when Slim Jims were like 10 cents.
Yeah. My $3 went a long way.
Yeah. And then you know what I would do? I would go home and wait for the disc jockey to play my favorite song and hit the play and record so I can get my favorite song. Did you ever try to catch the music?
Yes. What was the Kiss 10 at 10? And on the tape.
Yeah. You don't know real life until you've tried to catch a song tape on the radio to record and then take your cell phone and put it up to the speaker and record your voicemail.
Huh?
Did you not record the music on your voicemail, like to your cell phone?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
On your voicemail? No, I didn't have
like when people call you and they hear the music, it came from the radio.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Yes, Kelly knows. Kelly says yes. Thank you, Kelly.
I'm talking about when you hit record on your boombox.
Yes.
And
then you hit play and you record your voicemail tone.
Your voicemail tone.
We'll talk about that next. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us today. Oh, we love you all here at Studio 7. We'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. Happy Monday. You never recorded your voicemail on the